But Harry Hill's with us this morning. He's been threatening this for a while. We bumped into each other in Oxford Street once, and I mean that, carrying big bundles of parcels. And he said, what do you do? I said, I've got radio show. He said, I must come in. And I've got to tell you, that was when I was on Radio 5 15 years ago. But true to his word. Good morning, Harry.
My milkshakes bring all the boys to the yard.
Yeah, do you see that? Already, we're fencing. Can you see that?
May I say how much I enjoy the show on a daily basis?
Actually, you know, it's very nice of you to say.
And before I leave, I must ask for a single initialed calling card. If I may. For my wife, you understand.
Of course it is. And if I might invoke the Goon Show here, I always loved that gag in the Goon Show when Grip Pipe gave his calling card. It says, my card, but it's blank. Yes, business is bad. I have no idea. But why? That is eternal, isn't it? So why are we gathered, Harry? What are you in for this morning?
I'm doing a show at the newly refurbished Hackney Empire.
Oh, you're doing the Hackney Empire. Of course you are.
7th of February.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Harry Hill's Variety, I think they've called it a Variety Special. I've got a few old acts from times gone by, and one or two new acts in an attempt to revive variety.
Good for you, Harry. I didn't think your star could rise any further.
It's the last-ditch attempt for variety.
Is this genuinely a heartfelt thing for you? Because I, of course, would yearn for that sort of thing. And in practice, sometimes it falls short of the dream. However, if anyone can, etc., do you genuinely wish to get variety back on the radar?
Well, if I can. I mean, you know, the problem with it is the overheads. It's so enormously expensive. Well, they get all those acts on. Mm-hmm. But, so what I've got myself, obviously, with my band, The Caterers. Mm-hmm. So it's a big band sound. Mm-hmm. And we've got this xylophone duo, the Holloways, Pat and Guy Holloway from Blackpool. Do you know them?
No, I'm aware of their work. Let us say that.
They're late 70s, and they're just fantastic. This is one of those speciality acts. It's highly polished. The like of which you do not see, you will not see anywhere.
I was at the did a thing once at the Players Theatre with a lot of turns from Brinsworth House, which, as you know, is the retirement home for the old music hall act,
the Variety Club.
Yeah, and I know sometimes you can romance these things and think, just aren't they so cute, these old? But they are breathtaking. The speciality acts are absolutely breathtaking. There was an old guy who was a darts player, and he had the patter, which was good. He may need a little updating, but he would turn, and then he would just throw these things over his shoulder and pull off the most incredible things, by darts going at different parts of the set and all of this. Only 6 minutes, but what a 6 minutes!
Yes, an incredible darts speciality act.
Where else are you going to get it?
I went to see these xylophone players playing, and I just knew I had to have them on the bill. Then I've got...
they're still working properly for you, haven't they?
Oh, yeah, they're travelling. They've got an estate car, xylophone in the back, up and down the M1. Oh, yeah. They're saying to me... They're saying to me, some people say, we don't like travelling. We've done it all our lives, travelling. That's what we make, Yeah,
and is it especially adapted xylophone? Is it like those double pianos that X used to play? Is it?
It's only a 2-note xylophone. It's especially no, of course not.
But those 2 notes all.
I don't know. I don't know if it's specially adapted. I can't promise that. We've also got Mark Raffles. Do you know Mark Raffles?
Go on.
The gentleman pickpocket.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Yes. Of course, Raffles the gentleman pickpocket.
He's in his 80s. He's coming down from Blackpool. I think he's getting a lift with the Holloways.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we've got something for the modern, young comedians.
Just before we leave Raffles, because again, that kind of act, which you sometimes think you imagined, or you've only seen spoofed in other things. But when you see those fellas who say, "How are you? Come down on the train today. Oh, you want this wallet, will you?" And that sort of thing. That's a booking for me. The Hackney Empire that night.
And we've got. On top of that, we've got some of the best new acts. We've got newish acts.
Yeah.
Lee Mack, who's very funny. He's the original cheeky chappy.
Yep.
And we've got the Men in Coats.
Go on.
You know the Men in Coats?
They're brilliant.
It's a visual thing.
I don't know. Do I know the Men in Coats?
You do know them.
I don't know them as the Men in Coats.
Well,
Men in Coats. They wear 2 big duffel coats.
Oh, I'm sorry. Now I didn't know they was quite boldly called the Men in Coats.
They're called Men in Coats.
They're very funny.
They are Men in Coats.
And we've got a couple of. We've got a singer and another. I think it'll be fantastic.
Well, there are some that again I imagined even from quite recently. I don't remember. Do you ever work with Arlo Barlow?
Yes.
Arlo Barlow. Yes. Arlo Barlow was a gentleman. His act was having this enormous suit that made David Burns one. He had it look like a lot of fuss about nothing, and it was a great round Mr. Creosote type suit that his little head would poke out the end. and he would work within the suit and tell jokes from inside the suit, and occasionally he would light a cigarette up inside the suit, and the smoke would puff out the top. Very funny act. Don't know what happened to him.
And probably went the same way as the ice sculptor.
The ice sculptor, the Iceman, who came on stage as Jongleurs and tried to melt ice and wouldn't. But as I say, it's getting the regular gigs for these people, otherwise they all fall through the cracks, won't they?
Yeah.
So it's a celebration of old-time variety, or just general showbiz talent, I suppose?
Well, I just wanted to put on a good show that was, not just me, out of a few bits and different things that people might not have seen before.
The difficulty is, of course, giving it the light and shade, I should imagine, as well, because the variety acts would have had straight singers in there, which weren't to everyone's taste, but the whole point and definition, of course, of variety is, don't like this? Well, there's another turn on in a minute.
Yeah.
But this seems heavily accented towards the keeping things moving with the comedy.
I think so, and I think it's important that, they don't do more than sort of, like you say, 10 minutes or, 15 minutes, because sometimes those acts can, and I think that's the mistake, is that you need a lot of acts.
How do you strip them of the dread spectre of irony and postmodern? Everyone goes along to see them, and it's always an echo of sending up a joke within a joke.
I don't think it matters, and I think you go along there and you say, you see these old dinosaur players, but the fact is, you'll be knocked out by them.
They are. Yeah,
you cannot but enjoy it.
Well, they get very competitive. I don't know if you found this when you've gone up there. Once you make a booking, say, come down to London. Well, when we went over to that Brinsworth House, the old showbiz home, and we were being selective about who we filmed, there was this woman contortionist who used to end her act, she was about 80 by then, bringing her foot over her head with a cigarette between her toes, would take a puff and go, ooh, Woodbines! And that was the end of her act. I mean, it's a great end of the act. But there was another contortionist in there and I've never heard such invective. She stood in the door going, what do you want to interview that old cow for? She was always a number 3 turn. You want me? And it got like that all day.
Yes.
So you may be stirring
the billing is everything. See, modern comics, we just want to be on first and get
over with. No, you're stirring up a hornet's nest, I suggest. We'll hear more when we come back. Where you go, Monica? On a wonderful day like today, and the man alive is it, Harry Hill's with us, and publicising the refurbished, of course, a lot of heat under it at the moment over at the Hackney Empire, but this does sound like exactly what the Hackney Empire should be doing. And it's not a retro thing. You actually just using it on its own terms.
It's a good night out. I mean, they phoned me up to say, said, well, would you do the Hackney Empire? And I thought it'd be great to do the Hackney Empire with the prospect of being paid.
Yeah,
because the number of benefits.
That's right. There was forever in benefit and never actually turning a tenner, wasn't it? People were going a little suspicious. But
have you seen the new refurbished building?
No, have you?
No, I've seen photographs and it looks amazing.
Yeah.
But I'm really curious to see what they've done with it.
Well, I did the new act of the year when I was starting off. I did I went along for that, and there were about 50 people in, and I was in my particular heat. I was beaten by the fabulous Newbury Brothers.
Oh no!
There were 5 tap dancing black kids.
Quite right, of course.
And they were fantastic.
How are you ever going to beat that? Of course.
But I don't know what happened to it.
You have to work with the Cox twins.
They call themselves So Solid Crew now.
The Cox twins, always a great late booking. They are identical twins. They look like they're very shock-headed. They're about 80, but they look about 50, and they talk very fast at exactly the same time, and they can interchange their speech, and they're like very like Tweedledum and Tweedledee.
Yes,
and they will do little dances in the middle of their conversations. And if they're around, I urge you to re-examine the Cox twins also.
Yes.
So how about yourself? What are you doing? Where are you at the moment? What's the story?
Well, I'm starting a new series of TV Burp.
Of course.
In February. So I'm gearing up for that. I'm avoiding watching any TV.
Because you can't use it.
I want to keep myself fresh. So that's what I'm doing,
So TV Burp literally will be, as I know, we tangentially bumped into each other at the early days of this.
I tried to get you to write, but you were too expensive.
You had the Hackney Empire approach to hiring people, as I remember.
More expensive than me.
You had the Hackney Empire approach to hiring people, but it nearly came off, but it was always a great concept. And yet, it's one that takes nerve, i.e. literally saying, no, we're just going to look at the telly and make observations. We're not going to, like you say, not going to cheat off the air. It'll be that week's television, and it remains so,
Explain Burp TV, then.
Oh, well, it's the week's TV, and I'd say, look at that bit on Emmerdale. Look, he looks like the picture of him, and in the background, it looks like a dog.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Look at that hill. Look at that hill. It looks like a.
I think that's rather underselling it.
It's mainly that sort of thing, though. Taking the mickey out of the week's TV, spotting things. I mean,
yeah, it's Charlie Catchpole shot through Salvador Dali. It's that kind of thing. I'd have thought. But it's a wonderful, wonderful conceit and a beautiful series.
Thank you.
Why did you do it though?
Well, I looked around myself and I thought, what is lacking on TV? I know, another clip show. And
now tell me about that. Yeah.
What it was, when one of my contract sort of finished at Channel 4, they were saying, oh, this show, it's too expensive to make something cheap. So I had been writing when Gary Bushell, this odd thing, when Gary Bushell went on holiday, he would invite me to write his column.
Yes, that again. I mean,
bizarre booking.
Yeah, of course.
And I really enjoyed doing it. And you can be really cheeky about shows. Mm-hmm. And I said to my agent, maybe there's a show in this. So we said to Channel 4 about this, and they said, maybe think about it. And in the meantime, ITV came along, and they said, blah, blah, blah. So they picked it up, and...
But did they given that, you say that you're certainly one of the most trusted names in television, I think a lot of executives say, well, we, in a million years, don't get what Harry does, but we know there's a huge market, we know he's probably is a genius. So did you have a lot of faith in the show when it started, or would they have given you a pretty much blank canvas for anything you wanted to do? Was that the way it worked?
Well, we made a pilot. I mean, it was a real panic. I felt really panicked about it because it was that, Friday night, I've got to write the script, and we're recording it on Monday. So, but the fact is, there's loads of this stuff about. There's so much TV on at the moment.
But would you like? I mean, it's still kind of, out of the mainstream.
Yes.
Do you yearn to be in the mainstream? And suppose.
Well, I think it is mainstream.
Yeah, but in terms of it's not on at 7 o'clock on a Saturday night.
No, but that's not my choice. You see, I don't choose.
I see.
Out. Obviously,
Would you be presenting the National Lottery if you had the chance?
Well, I think they have a very old. I think people who run the channels have a very old-fashioned view of. Yeah. And I think they tend to sort of patronise the audience.
Oh God, tell us about it. But they never went broke. Well, look at it. But you could be across the pond making a very good living because Letterman loves you, doesn't he? No surprise, but he, in spite of sometimes the audience reaction.
You've seen the tape.
No, you come on and of course they think, what's this guy? Because they've not seen anything like it, and you don't alter the act much, do you? When
not
you go
really.
And the references, I know it's the treats and stuff, and whatever stay in there.
Cookie. I use the word cookie instead of biscuit.
Yeah, and you see this first minute, and then it builds and it builds. But he nicked your but you like the line, don't you? He does it when you're not there. He's such a fan.
It's funny because I did it the first time, and it was all a bit weird. And then the second time, they said to me, if he comes over and shakes your hand at the end, that means he likes the act, right? Yeah. Sometimes he just sits there and goes, oh, thanks very much,
Yeah, right. There's all that kind of ridiculous politics.
So he came over and shook the hand, and I thought, oh, great, that's, he likes it. But he was quite cold, he's quite a sort of cold. His hands are very cold.
Nobody meets Dave, do they? Nobody.
And the next time I go along, I'm standing in the wings waiting to go on, and I look over at Letterman, it's during an ad break or something, he looks over at me, he goes, waves!
Big wave,
big wave. And then when I'm on, I can hear him behind me going, go on, Harry, go on. Like the lining, like he's sort of...
He's prompting you. I said, well, it's Jess, he does sit indoors with your tapes, and he's a massive fan, because I must say, after you've been on, and he doesn't even credit his source, and Harry comes and goes, oh, but you like the lining, don't you? And chuckles away to himself.
Yeah, but then when I sat next to him and chatted to him, it became apparent he didn't really know anything about me at all, because he said, you work mainly in the States? I said, well, no, I'm from England, I'm just over for the day,
Yeah, do you get that couple of minutes right at the end where you have to kind of fill in stuff? He's done it 6 times now, yeah?
Yeah.
And how about the rest of America? Does that fall into place behind that?
No, I never got anything out of it. I mean,
really?
What you have to remember is that by the time I'm on, the comic's the last thing on, it's 11:30 or something.
Yeah, but even so, the kudos in the industry over there, I mean, that is...
Yeah, that is good. And, the other comics, when I'm going around practicing it around New York in the clubs, they're all kind of, you're doing Letterman.
Well, exactly. And then was it without trying? I mean, was that your ambition, or did you just get a call saying you want to
I never dreamed it. It was a dream come true in a sense. You know what happened? He came over and did that series from London.
That's right, London Weekend.
LWT, and all the comics were saying, oh, he's coming over, he wants an English comic, who's it going to be? And everyone thought it'd be Lee Evans.
Yeah.
Because he's that sort of...
Especially Lee Evans, I understand.
He's a visual... well, it's a visual
exactly,
English type. and they held auditions at the Red Rose, and I thought, I'm not going along to an audition. What's the point of that? It's a waste of time. If they get asking you for an audition, so I didn't bother. And then I thought it had all been sort of signed and sealed, and then I got a phone call. They want you to have a phone call. I've got to go in and receive a phone call from the States.
Power BS,
So I get this bloke on the phone. Hi, Harry. You're going to. I said, what do you want me to do? He said, well, just do the 5 minutes you do on Letterman, which I wasn't prepared for at all. So I just started doing these jokes down the phone.
What's that?
Chicken, liver, carrots, onions. Everybody's talking about casseroles, and he's really laughing. Right? He's really laughing, and I'm thinking. And I come off the phone. I say to my agent, I say, God, he was really laughing. He said, yeah, they all do that.
Did it? Oh, well, it obviously led on, and it worked. So this morning we are doing one of the things is hospitals and doctor surgeries in other cultures we were doing earlier on, and rather like Graham Chapman and a long list of people, including Jonathan Miller, of course. You are a doctor, a genuine one.
I am.
Do you ever have the pangs and think, what am I doing? What am I doing? Because I know later in life, I don't want to put a cloud over this, but certainly Jonathan Miller and Graham Chapman thought,
yes.
No, I've wasted my life. I don't. That's what they thought. Do you ever think?
Do you ever think you've wasted?
Do you keep your hand in for a start? Do
I ever think? Shall I direct an opera? No, I do. I write prescriptions.
Oh yeah, for the Grateful Dead and other bands. No, what? Who?
For Steve Bowditch if he's got pneumonia, or the kids if they develop tonsillitis.
But is it just something you can put aside? Don't you sort of have a?
Well, I'd be dangerous now. My wife, she's always trying to get me involved. I think she really wishes I was still a doctor, and she runs in the house and says, "Someone's been knocked down at the crossroads. You'd better get down there."
Do you leg it down? I mean, do you get rusty as a doctor? I mean, can you? Oh, you do.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I think must be the rustiest doctor in town.
But at a pinch,
Give me creak.
At a pinch, should Amy here from her rigours of being on Fit Club suddenly keel over? You've got the rudimentaries, yeah.
Well, even when I was up to speed, I wasn't that great.
Stay away. If I do keel over, just ignore me.
It was cause and effect then. And I'm sure you've been asked before, but the initial jump into show business with this peculiar act, and I mean that, of course, in the most positive and strongest sense, peculiar to itself, of itself. How did you have the confidence to say, well, I think this is funny? Because that's more true of you perhaps than any other comedian, that you can stand up and say, I'm willing this to be funny, and it becomes it. Your act is absolutely peculiar and unique in terms of you've not heard anything like this before, but I know this is funny.
When I started off, I was a sort of deadpan comedian. My heroes, were Stuart Lee and Jack Dee and people like that.
Oh, right.
Arnold Brown, Norman Lovett. They're deadpan.
Wow, comics. You're going to dread deadpan, yeah.
I love those comics. It's so stripped down.
And you tried some of that?
So, you sort of imitate the people you like. So I just had a whole lot of one-liners. Well, I had about 5 minutes of one-liners, in fact. And then I realised you can't have 5 minutes of one-liners. You need 20 minutes of one-liners, and 20 minutes of one-liners is a life's work, because they're so quick, they're over so quickly. So once I started to get confident, I would always get laughs on those one-liners. Yeah, they was quite good.
But were they exactly? But they were gags. But a lot of the stuff is it's Harry Hillism.
Yeah, and then I started to get confidence, and I would just stick things in that what it started off. I'd have a one-liner in which the setup was funnier than the punchlines.
Right there. Okay.
So I do the setup. I'd say cheese and pineapple. There's an interesting combination on a cocktail stick.
Yeah,
and that would get a laugh.
Yeah,
and I had a punchline for it, which wasn't funny. So then I just didn't do the punchline.
Well, that's a perfect genesis, and now I get it. But even so, it is the very term Harry Hillism, and it falls an absolute brand.
It seems as if you and your spectacles are completely inseparable. But would you ever consider having contact lenses?
I am spectacle wearer of the year. I'll have you know.
I'm jealous. I'm very jealous. But would you ever consider wearing contact lenses?
But the whole
because I tried them for about a day and they were so horrible.
I've been wearing them since I was 8.
And
I remember the first time I put them on, straight away, the taunts, probably the same for you, the taunt started, oi, 4 eyes, goggle box, to which I replied, look, you're not the only optician round here. There's one for you.
There's one of the early acts. There's a bit of prehistory. But very quickly, your stage look, will there come a time you think, well, they'd rather like Gilbert O'Sullivan shed off his big old cap and all of that. Will you ever alter that?
Why? Why should I?
Is that your Dumbo's feather? You think that's it? That's what's funny, not me.
I like to put it. I like to put it on to go to work. You know, that thing of getting dressed and. Well, I don't see why I should.
No, exactly.
You're looking marvellous this morning.
It's all on this morning. By the way, and we're out of time, and then it is at the Shepherd's Bush Empire.
Yeah, I'll give you the details.
Van Morrison.
No. Harry Hill's Variety Special is on at the newly reopened Hackney Empire, Saturday the 7th of February. Box office number 8985-2424. That's 8985-2424. TV Burp is on Friday the 20th of February. That's ITV1, and you can see Harry's website, www.harry-hill.tv.
Well, Harry Hill playing live, along with spectacular turns. A splendid time is guaranteed for all. A friend, a great honour.
Many thanks.
Thank you very much.